Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Starting off a great weekend, really. I got a great video for you guys today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about financial education, and I think it'd be a good topic because a lot of people, a lot of people that follow the channel, we have a good understanding on it. However, a lot of people don't pass this knowledge on. It's something that I actually had talked a little bit. I glazed over it briefly in a video about 2 weeks ago when I was reading through the comments tonight. And I had seen a comment that says, it's not really the school's responsibility. It should be the parents. And I think to a certain point, I think that's accurate. However, I've just always said that I think the schools should teach, a certain amount of basic, you teach basic math, basic reading. I think basic financial education, basic health. I think those are topics that really should be taught to kids at school. And I think it's sad that they don't get that knowledge, but also because the average person doesn't even really understand it. And that's where kind of the problem comes up. I think for a long time, the elites, when they originally started promoting schools, I think that they essentially just wanted people to be able to work. They wanted people to go to school, get a good understanding, and kind of get them in the work community, get them in the workforce. Same with women's rights to work. I think a lot of that played out with basically just wanting more people working, more people generating to help grow GDP, to help grow the economy. And I think to a certain point, they don't really want people to be financially educated, because if you're financially educated, you start to realize what's really going on in the world. And once you realize that, you understand, well, the more educated you are, the better off you'll be. And essentially, that kind of works against the system. I mean, you think about every stacker out there that's stacking precious metals, and essentially they're not holding dollars. And ultimately, I think, the powers that be want you investing in dollars. They want you to continue to go to work every week, every day, and spend, possibly even, get in debt as much as you can, because then you're paying even more in interest and you're even getting less product for your money, essentially. You take like someone buying a car, by the time you tack on interest, how much are they really paying for that car versus if they just saved up the money and bought it the way it's kind of supposed to be done? Now, let's be honest. I know everybody, or a lot of people out there, probably have car notes. They have home notes. But where do you draw the line? And so we're going to talk a little bit about financial education today, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. While I'm doing it, I'll probably be just kind of talking and scrolling through different stuff. I do ask that if you would take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me, help me out. And down the road, if you want, check out some of our other great videos. I put a lot of different videos up. I spend a lot of time putting up videos, so it really helps me out when you guys check out the videos. And I do, it's not just gold and silver that we talk about. We talk about a lot of different stuff: prepping, gardening, homesteading, and just different stuff. So cooking. So check out some of our great videos. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, what is financial education? So financial education, also known as financial literacy, financial knowledge. You'll hear these terms thrown out a lot, but a lot of people don't even know what that is exactly. It's not just gold and silver. We talk a lot about gold and silver. We talk about what's going on in the economy a lot, but it's a good understanding of different types of investments, different types of financial products, concepts. You have to know how to moderate your risk, how to budget, savings, investing, managing your debt, tracking your spending, planning for retirement, or planning for just other goals in life. A lot of people that follow the channel, maybe they just stack precious metals, and to a certain point, there's some people that would never, ever, under no circumstances, want to get rid of their precious metals. Now, me personally, I treat precious metals as money. It's a true savings account to me. When you hold money in a bank, are you really making anything off it? The interest rates are so minuscule now that you're barely making anything. And if you're holding precious metals, you're actually seeing the climb in your precious metals, in your value, in your account. I mean, you take a look just at the last 1 year. I mean, we were at $21. You could literally buy silver for $22, $23 an ounce at this time last year. Now, the cheapest that you might get lucky and find it for, if you find someone selling it at spot, you might pick it up for $32 and a quarter. That's basically a 35% climb in price. I'm sorry, technically I said 35, but actually it's even more than that. 40%, I think, if you look in, but I'm adding in recent too. But that's a big jump when you really think about it. And the reason I'm quick to say 35% was because those were our official gains last year. We're already up like 10% this year. And we're only a month and a half into it. And, you know, we saw a lot of excitement yesterday. You have to see I don't know if you guys saw what happened yesterday. We saw like a 4.5% climb on silver. And when I talk about precious metals, I'm kind of referring to both precious metals, gold and silver. And I know there's people out there that like palladium, platinum, all these other metals. And I'm sure somebody will even comment a different metal, copper, something else in the comments below. But you have to understand everything is going up in price. And once you understand that, you start to really understand what's happening. You know, as the dollar is getting debased, we're seeing stuff just get crazy in price. I mean, gas is going up, houses are going up. But the people that are saving their money in precious metals, they're actually seeing the precious metals go up in price. So it's almost like they're getting the same amount. They're able to maybe put away for your retirement. If you're putting away for your retirement in precious metals, it puts you in a better position down the road because the precious metals will keep. You know, if you put away, let's say, I'll give you a great example. I had put away a bunch of money for my son's college. Now, so it turned out, because I'm retired military, I was able to use some kind of college, I don't know what they call it, the GI Bill or whatever they call it, and shift it over to him. And so he gets a deal on his college now. However, that money that I had set aside, I'd actually set aside that money in precious metals. And my thought process was, you know, it ain't going nowhere. It may go up in value. But here's the thing. At $15 an ounce silver, when I got it for him, now you look at the price of silver, and it's easy to see it didn't just maintain. It really went up with the college tuition prices. So that's why some people like us will like to save in it. But you don't hear people talk about this stuff. You know, I actually had dated one lady for a little while, and she, you know, obviously I am outspoken about my beliefs on this stuff. I don't always share with people that I have a YouTube channel. In fact, some people that I meet with on a weekly basis still don't know that I have a YouTube channel. However, I was talking to her one day, and she's like, I just don't understand why nobody talks about this. A lot of people don't understand. They don't understand it. And I'm still friends with this lady to this day. And, she'll still ask me, hey, if you get any deals on silver, can you put me down for some? I want to keep stacking. But I don't really know where to buy from, or I don't really want to take a risk at getting something fake or whatnot. And we still talk about it to this day. And literally, she just can't really understand why nobody talks about it. The average person out there, unfortunately, doesn't even understand precious metals. They don't understand debt. They don't understand really much about what's going on. A lot of people, they're just kind of just going to work, and they don't have time to educate themselves on this extra stuff. When they come home from work, they're exhausted, they're tired, and it's sad because these are skills that not only should adults have, but they should pass that on to their kids. I started teaching mine about precious metals at a fairly young age, and I look at it now as, yeah, he still spends a good amount of money. When he makes money, he'll spend a good amount of money. However, I also look at it like at least he's putting away a little bit each month, each week. Is he putting away the same as like an adult, like one of us, maybe that might be watching the channel? And I know some of us are even older Some of the people that are watching the channel are older than me. Maybe they're in their 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s. And, you know, some people get frustrated because they've been down this road for a while when it comes to precious metals. And, you know, you keep hearing YouTube channels talk about, I mean, the newest one that people are talking about is $750 silver. And I've been watching a lot of them type of videos because I'm trying to understand. I mean, I understand to a certain point why they believe that it could go astronomical. However, it's realistically not going to happen tomorrow. You know, yeah, if you've got a 20 or 30 year timeline, you'll probably be all right if you're stacking. I mean, even if you only got like a 1 year, I'm pretty confident this time next year, silver will be higher than it is today. But are they going to revalue gold tomorrow? Are we going to see the gold silver ratio come back to 20 to 1? You know, those are a lot of what ifs that have to happen in order to see astronomical gains in silver. But even if we don't see astronomical, if we see $45 at this time next year, would you be happy with that? You know, that's a really good gain. I mean, if we go to 45, that's a 50% gain on your silver. And when, like I said, when I talk about silver, I'm not only talking about silver, because a lot of people are pro gold. And I may not talk a lot about gold as much, but gold is a safe haven asset. I just think it is I don't want to say a high priced, but it is at an all-time high. Not right this minute. Obviously, you can see it got beat down $45 today, or 1.5%, which was kind of funny because we only saw silver fall 0.5%. And that kind of shocked me a little bit when we started seeing it climb. We saw some weird stuff happen on Friday. And when I start seeing weird stuff happen that just doesn't add up, that's actually essentially a good sign for me that something major is happening in the economy. And generally, when stuff is going smooth, they can manipulate the prices. When stuff starts breaking down, that's when strange stuff starts happening. You think about the stock market corrections for a minute. The ones that we've seen, maybe I'll say the ones I've seen in my lifetime. You know, I was investing in the stock market in 2000. I seen the dot-com bubble burst. I've seen a lot of volatility happen that led up to it. A lot of strange things were happening in the market. 2008 housing crisis. There again, a lot of strange stuff was happening in the market. And right now, we're seeing a lot of strange stuff happen in the precious metals market. We're seeing, you know, late deliveries. You know, not crazy late, but they're putting numbers in timelines that just doesn't add up with what it should take. I mean, when you really think, I understand, let's be honest, logistics to move, you know, tons of gold from one country to another, it does take time. It's not like, you know, oh, hey, we'll have it there tomorrow. It's not like ordering something on, what do they call that, Prime? Is it Amazon? I don't even know what they call it, Prime. Someone orders my stuff and I'm fascinated with it. It's just like, no, I just order it and they just literally, she plugs in my address and it just comes right to my house and I just give her the cash. But it's not like that with gold and silver. I mean, there's a lot of time to move that kind of stuff from like London to New York. There's a lot of logistics. You look around, there's always stuff coming up missing. Look at the flight that went from Dubai to, I think it was Chicago, O'Hara, and somewhere they lost like, I won't say a ton of gold, but they lost something like $50 million in gold. It just disappeared. I mean, that's a lot of money lost. Now there's lawsuits involved, and, you know, they don't just want the gold price. They want the gold price plus premium price plus lost value. And once you realize that there's a lot of crazy stuff happening out there, you understand there's got to be a reason why. And do I think they will revalue? Yeah, eventually they're going to revalue gold. It's crazy that gold is still valued on their accounting records at, what, $40, $45, something like that. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. But it's crazy that they still have it on the books at that, when you have gold trading at essentially $2,900, and or it was a little less right now because we did see it come down a little bit the other day, but a small amount, fraction of what the actual value is, and how do you justify that? You know, now what is that going to do if they reevaluate? I mean, A lot of people don't know how they'll reevaluate it exactly. First thing they're going to have to do is probably buy up a lot of it. I'm not convinced that Fort Knox has as much gold as we say we've had. We haven't audited it in forever. I think there's a lot of talk now about audits, obviously with the Doge Committee, and as that continues to happen, it's going to put more fear on people wanting to get ready. I don't know how many of you guys ever have any kind of an audit done, or there's a lot of stress trying to make sure that everything is ordered. It doesn't even have to be an audit like money-wise. It could just be an inspection on your company. It could be an insurance inspection. It could be anything. You want to make sure that everything is in order. Your ducks are in order. And part of me wonders if that's why all this gold is flowing into New York, because they know what's coming down the line. Sooner or later, people in power are going to want to know, do we have that gold at Fort Knox? What's going on? You know, and if they do reevaluate it, does it mean you'll be a multi-millionaire overnight? It doesn't necessarily mean that. It does mean, however, though, if they revalue gold even to the current price, which I don't think if they revalue it, they're going to revalue it to the actual gold price that we see right now. But you can expect if all of a sudden they did, there's going to be a lot of buying demand, a lot of talk. It's going to be in the news. It's, you know, a lot of people are going to, all of a sudden the budget might not be as lopsided because, you know, now you have assets that are valued at actual market. I mean, can you imagine you own a real estate company and you've got a bunch of houses, and your houses are valued at prices that from 10 years ago? Well, yeah, that's not going to be an accurate balance sheet showing what you have and how things are really set up. And I think a lot of the revaluation on gold right now that they're talking about, that you're hearing on a lot of channels, a lot of that does come down to a lot of countries kind of losing faith in the dollar. They're looking at just basically the debt. They're looking at the debt. They're looking at the spending. I mean, you look at this chart right here, there's a lot of red on there. You don't see as much essentially assets. You just see a lot of debt, and it's a lot of red. I mean, the savings, they have $9,200 for the average family. I really even doubt that. I don't know many families. I mean, people that own businesses or that are in kind of my trade group, yes, I'm sure they could come up with $9,200. But we're talking average person. Really, I think they're calculating their average. Basically, they're adding in the 1%ers, and they're not the majority. The majority of Americans, the majority of people are just in debt. They don't have much. And credit cards obviously plays a huge part of that. Student loans plays a huge part of that. You know, and so as you have that continuing, you know, that's why I say financial education is important. Taking the time to teach your kids, even on precious metals. I've met too many people that have gotten a position where they've been saving up precious metals for a while, and they never really talk to their kids about it. And when they eventually pass away, crazy stuff happens. Collections get cashed in. I mean, how many of y'all have ever done coin roll hunting? I've got some videos up with coin roll hunting, and I've found some crazy amounts of silver. You know, somebody out there might make a mistake. I got to laugh a little when I say this because I made a mistake at one point, and I accidentally cashed in a bunch of 90%. The people that have been following the channel for a long time, some of them know the whole story of when that happened, and it was pretty devastating. I was basically cashing in huge amounts of change, and I was going through looking for W quarters. I was looking for silver half dollars, and I had sold a house, and I had actually cashed the check for the house and said I wanted it all in quarters and half dollars. And they were like, we can't do that. That's insane. And then we ended up coming up to terms, and she's like, well, I guess we can do 8,000, 6,000 or 8,000 a week. And literally it took them like 10 weeks to get all the money in change. And then I did a huge video where I showed all the change. And we went through it, and we gave away boxes. We did sponsor stuff and hunted coins. But you can find a lot of silver out there. It's out there still. It's getting harder and harder to find free silver through coin roll hunting. But, a lot of people just don't understand financial literacy. They don't teach kids. What do they teach? I mean, barely teach them how to even do a checkbook now. I've seen too many people, they don't know how to do checkbooks. They don't really understand how interest is calculated. Credit cards ain't always bad. If you know how to use them properly, you can use them to your advantage. Credit cards are a double-edged sword. I mean, hey, if you're going to buy something, a lot of times when you buy something today, as long as you pay it off when the bill comes in, you don't have the interest on it. Can you imagine being able to buy silver 2.5 weeks ago when it was $29? You still haven't even gotten the bill for it yet, essentially. And all of a sudden the bill comes in, silver is $3 higher, maybe even $4 higher. Now, I'm not saying go out and use your credit cards to buy precious metals. That's not what I'm saying. And I have to put emphasis on that, because someone out there is going to be like, that's bad advice. You're telling people to use credit to buy precious metals. I have, personally, and it has worked in my favor, but I'm not saying it works in everybody's favor. And I got to say, this is not financial advice. Nothing I say on this channel is financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. It's just essentially me giving my opinion of stuff, But credit cards are a double-edged sword. Maybe you get a great opportunity on, I've seen houses, literally, one of my houses I bought for under $20,000. Now, I bought it when a Navy base closed down, when the housing market collapse happened, and it was just multiple things happening. And then on top of that, the lady got foreclosed on, and she was so mad, she basically stripped the house. I mean, they went around and they disconnected light switches, they disconnected lights, they took out the sinks, they took the hot water heater, and then on top of that, it had a small gas leak somewhere. And, but these are things that can be addressed, they can be fixed. And I don't even understand why people go to try to tear up their house when they're getting foreclosed on. They're just acting out of anger, because essentially they can come after you for the money. A lot of people don't know that. Just because you got foreclosed on doesn't mean you're off the hook because you lost your house. But a lot of people don't really understand what's going on. And part of me says they want you to be that way. They don't want you to know what's going on, because if you knew what was going on, you would understand 2% inflation is not good. They try to tell you 2% inflation, that's the goal. That's what would keep this country in a good position. A 2% inflation is good for growth. It increases pay. No inflation. Who wants to pay more for groceries, even if it's only 2%? People just don't understand. And that's why it's important to share what you learn. Share the videos. I don't just say share the videos because it helps me, although it really does help me if you share the videos. Maybe you got Facebook and you see a video that you just really, man, he explained that really well, and you share it, you post it on Facebook or something. I really do appreciate when people do that, because it does help the channel grow. But that was kind of it for today. I just wanted to talk about something a little bit different aside from just gold and silver, especially because it is the weekend and it's not trading, as you guys saw a few minutes ago. It's sitting right there at 32.13, and it's going to sit that way for the rest of the weekend. Do I think it could see a jump? Honestly, come Sunday night, I think we'll see it pop up a little bit. I don't know what will happen over the next day or two. Nobody really does. I mean, we have theories, the people that follow this hardcore, but nobody knows for sure, especially when stuff is happening right now that's kind of crazy. I mean, if all of a sudden they announce, hey, we're auditing the gold, and they ain't got the gold, you can expect that gold prices are going to probably jump. But there's a lot of short positions out there. There's a lot of people out there that are going short on silver just to keep the price in check so they can acquire more of it. And that's what's happening with gold and silver, I believe. So with that being said, I don't want the video to get too long, because I know some people don't really like long videos. I try to keep it at about 15 minutes, and we're at 23 already, 24 now. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great weekend. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And like I said, it was just kind of a little bit of a jumping around today and talking about some different stuff. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Help me out. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, especially if you made it this far. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.